Good morning, Deborah, LeeAnn.
Hello, Suzanne Joy. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. And good day to everybody. We are embarking on Gene Key 44 this week, and these are written by Richard Rudd. And so diving into this, it feels when I feel into the different states, like this one shows such promise to me that my nervous system just relaxes. So we're talking about Gene Key 44, which is the shadow state, the very human state, is all about interference. But out of interference comes teamwork. And the gift then moves into the Siddhic state, which is all about synarchy. And
Mm.
I, when I feel into that, it's like my body can relax because I I just know that nature is very self-organizing and you don't have to do anything. So I
And
just,
it's when we do that we interfere with the natural
exactly,
order of things.
exactly.
Uh, Beautiful. Yeah. I love this because I play with the I talk about these levels of leadership or styles of governance that in the work that I do, and I love it because the shadow has a lot to do with fear of anarchy, and and we all have that. Like, oh my God, everything's out of control, and and then we have all these archies, the oligarchy and this archy, and so the hierarchy of things is there can be a natural hierarchy of things, which is pretty much formulated by love. But when it's coming from fear and power over, power under, control, then hierarchy gets a bad rap. So I love that we get to play with the human hierarchical, and we like it. We like to be taken care of and know that we're in a structure and know where we fit in the structure because it gives us a sense of security. But what would it be like if we all stood up in our and were responsible, personally responsible, grown up and mature enough in our own emotional and consciousness systems that we could play in a space of heterarchy? And we know, back in what was it, the 80s when they started flattening the organizations because they're like, we need to get into this, less of this and more of this. Well, nobody knew how to do this though. And, and so it didn't work in a lot of situations. And so typically we've learned that it may be a blend of hierarchy and heterarchy. And I don't know when we'll be ready for the synarchy, but we can start playing with it within to help create it outside. And that's my 2 cents.
Well, and I know that anyone who might be listening to this, uh, they're like, but it's crazy outside. How can you even think that there's be harmony? And but it all starts here. That's the thing that we have to realize is that the more that we tap into our innate abilities and we come from that space of peace in our cellular being, which is really the natural state of us, is that then as that signal lights up, this is how I'm visioning it, that signal lights up, you're going to be attracting those that are maintaining or having the integrity of their system lit up, and you will find your fractal people to play with.
The fractal family. But it takes a few of us doing the deeper work to start that bringing together the hive of where we can really make this systemic change, right? Where it'll start rippling out into the collective.
Right. But it
Uh,
all has to start in here. We can't,
Absolutely.
it's not like You can't, um, you know, expect somebody else is going to be doing it. This is our own work to playing in. And
Yeah.
I like how he says this. Richard says, am I a victim outside myself? So making sure that you understand your own empowerment, and this is all related to the immune system too, and how you um, this isn't about survival anymore. This is about owning who you came to be in this lifetime.
And nourishing that. I
Right.
think for the longest time we thought that being sick was something that happened to us.
Right.
It was an externally, and some of it does, but a lot of it has a lot to do with how are we taking care of our systems? How are we um, creating that? And I don't mean a boundary, but like an ecosystem of such strong, healthy cells that we're able to go, oh, there's no room for that in my system.
Right. Right.
You know?
And I was listening to the audiobook last night, and one of the things that was really surprising to me is talking about those that have this key in their profile somewhere. And I think some of us all have that. It's related to the smell. And if you've ever noticed, you may be attracted to some people's scent, and then others you're like, mm-mm. I mean, our bodies are innately have
Intelligent.
intelligent and have this, like, when things just don't feel right or they smell off. So already, your body already senses that, and that's one of the things that this key talks about is how that those karmic relationships. Um, there is in our life times where you may have been distrustful, and that's the repressive side where you're just like, nope, not going there again. I'm not going to even try because there's that fear that's related to it. And so you might be identifying with some past experience that you may have had. And so your heart's not opening.
Yeah.
And so you kind of are defending yourself. Whereas the reactive nature is misjudging. So those are the people that like start relationships over and over again, but then don't see the pattern that they're keep attracting because
Yeah.
they aren't pulling out the root. Like they're not identifying the thing that's going, oh, once I finished that relationship, I just jumped into another relationship and I still have that same problem. I'm wondering what's going on here.
Common denominator.
Yeah.
So, so the question I have for you is then how do we notice when we're well, this is one of the things that I feel like we a lot of times we're hearing a lot of political discourse, and people are so quick to blame those guys, that party, this way of doing things. And what we're not looking at is the universality of this, so that there's like, oh, wait a minute, do I have some discord in me? And so when you're doing this, remember there's three fingers pointing back. So it's so good to recognize, oh, wait a minute, I have no right. And whenever we're playing the us and them game, that's two. There's always more than two sides to everything. And what he keeps talking about in the way of Synarchy is all systems are interrelated. Our system is interrelated with in our relationships, all of this interaction and interbeingness, interconnectedness is we need to be responsible for our own stuff.
Right.
Can I do
And
the move, or you want to share something?
no, I was just going to say the programming partner is the 24, and that's all about addiction, the shadow state of addiction. Sometimes we really do just think about this. Sometimes we're addicted to suffering. And that's the
Yeah, we're
interference.
addicted to bitching. Excuse me,
Yeah.
but we are. It's And when we're around somebody who's negative and is going off and on and on and on, then we jump in, and it's like, how do
Right,
we hold our own and go, wait,
right, right,
this is
right.
all a part of it.
It's all part of it. So then when we get into that state of teamwork, notice that when you have been in a very integral part, and that's where invention happens. That's when big
Create.
ahas happen, and we can share new ways of being and new ideas in such a beautiful way that that teamwork is gelled and that we can come up with better solutions than we ever did by ourselves.
Yeah, because the collective visioning is always way more powerful, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. I love that. And then what about, do you want to speak at all about Synarchy? And then I
So,
want to do the mudra for Synarchy.
so synarchy, when you think about that, that's like it's think of ants or bees. They all, you know, when a queen bee, like somebody chooses a queen bee and then she puts on her crown and becomes the bee. It's funny to, and then everybody wants to support the bee. But it's not like that bee was always the bee, but it's like you step into that role to play the role and do your job in the symphony. So I like what I want to just say about synarchy. It is knowing your part, your
Role, your, yeah.
role, what
Mhm.
you're contributing. And synarchy happens where, you know, the teamwork is when you're working with your band, but then think about all the other bands that are in symphony as well. That's the synarchy. Like we're all in concert and there's harmony involved.
Yeah.
So that
Well, that's beautiful. And the
I know.
insects do it and the birds do it. You know, they're
Right.
all out there doing their thing. And it's like it all sounds so beautiful together. Um, so uh the Siddhic um mudra that goes along with this is you interlace, of course, your fingers. And I have my left pinky on the bottom. I don't know if it really matters, but the interaction is on the inside, so that from the outside it just sees you see the weaving, and and what happens is this is he says you can think about it and you can send this energy to various places. Like what is the first and foremost would be to send it to our cells. May all of our cells be in synarchy and, you know, in a collective intelligence for my highest physical well-being, mental well-being, you know, all the states of my body. So we get to just hold this and breathe into it. And if you're standing, you know, unlock your knees, see if you can soften like your shoulders and your face and your jaw, and just allow this to bring the wisdom of the body into synarchy. Mm-hmm. Till our next time together.
Thank you so much for being here.
We wouldn't we wouldn't have nearly as much fun if we were doing this. Well, we do this for ourselves, but it is so much fun to share it.